Big week in college football last week. What was the biggest surprise for you, Coach?
Well, it was Big 12. I mean, when you have Kansas, Kansas State, and Iowa State all losing to teams that aren't members of the Power Five conferences. Not only that, all the victories were rather decisive, both in all three games. I felt that whether we're talking about Arkansas State or whoever else it was, they outplayed the Big 12. That surprised me.
I agree with you on that. The Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesley probably wanted to opt out after those three games.
Well, rule number one, Mark, if you're going to schedule a non-Power 5 team, make sure you can beat them. If you can't beat them, don't schedule them.
What stood out with you with the NFL last week, Coach?
I thought the Cowboy game, what really stuck out with me was they're down by 3. They have 4th and 3 on about the 15-yard line, and they did not go for the field goal. I mean, you go for the field goal, it ties the game, then it's completely different. And then the offensive pass interference on the receiver late in the game when the Cowboys completed a pass down around the 10-yard line, got a call for offensive pass interference. It was rather questionable, but the decisions that people make affected the outcome of the game as much as the players participating progress.
For me, it was Jacksonville going to Indianapolis and winning, and Gardner Minshew was 19 out of 20 throwing the football, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions when he doesn't have anything except garbage pails to throw to him to block for him in that football team.
Yeah, it's amazing, Mark, but it was an interesting week. Make no mistake about it.
So the Big Ten supposedly is coming back and playing football. What are your thoughts about that, Coach?
Well, my first thought is, Mark, is how are they going to enter into the national championship race? If they're going to start around October 24th, are they going to end up the season in time to participate in the national championship playoff? I think that's their goal, their objective. But it's good to see them come back. President Trump obviously had some influence on it. That was probably more difficult than bringing the Israelis and the Arabs together in a peace accord. But it happened, and I'm glad to see it. I'm happy for the players.
I'm just shocked it's happening before the election. That really shocked me on getting it back. I'll bet you one thing. I'll bet you the Pac-12 will be going back and playing football. They'll make a decision in 2 days.
Well, as obviously 3 schools of Pac-12 did hear that the season was starting last week. They didn't show up, obviously, but it would be a very, very interesting year, Mark. Make no mistake about it. And the thing that intrigued me in both the NFL and the college game is when you travel on the road, you have trouble with signals. You can't audible. You can't do all the things. You have trouble communicating. You know that as well as anybody, having played the offensive line. But when you go and the stands are empty, you don't have any trouble whatsoever communicating. It's the same thing. You look in the NBA playoff when you have Milwaukee and you have Toronto, the 1-2 teams lose in the round in the NBA playoff. Would that have happened had they had the home court advantage in 4 of the 7 games? So I think that not having fans in the stands has a bigger impact on the game than people realize.
Totally agree.